Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Fast Nigellin, bringing you another Company of Heroes 2 replay. And as always, if you have a replay you'd like to send in, go ahead and send it to fastnigellin@gmail.com. I'll leave a description or a link in the description below. And you'll be able to find any information there as well.
Squad ready for action.
So today we'll be taking a look at Game 2 of Round 2 in a best of 3 between Jove and Paul. This was in the Warpaint Championship Series that took place, I believe, last weekend. And this is Game 2, so Jove actually won the first game. And while the match is getting started here, just a couple community announcements / updates. On Wednesday, August 31st, there's a Warpaint Championship opening round recap live on Twitch, so feel free to tune in to that. And then Sunday, September 4th, there's the quarterfinal and semifinals, rounds 3 and 4, both best of 3 of the Warpaint Championship Series. And lastly, September 11th, Sunday, the Grand Finals, which will be a best of 5, so that should be very good. As Paul's pushing up with his MG42, trying to reinforce these pioneers that are trying to get some barbed wire set up on the heavy cover here. And you see that a lot. Heavy cover getting barbed wired on one side just to deny his opponent that cover. So nicely done there. Looks like he wants to push the MG up the middle, perhaps take the church. Although Jove is contesting that with his rifleman. So you might see Paul swing his MG42 all the way over to this house here. And Grenadiers trying to push up, but Rifleman microing in and out of the church. Forcing a passive retreat as he gets behind some heavy cover. Here does Jove. And with his third set of riflemen moving up to the top of the map. And some run-of-the-mill capping of points here. Both these guys quite the juggernauts in terms of Company of Heroes 2 players. Both extremely active on the ladder. Jove currently occupying almost all first place positions on the ladder for each race, or each faction I should say. Rifleman forcing a retreat here.
Holy mackerel! That did it!
And the first victory point cap of the day here by the rear echelon. We've got a mortar on the field, so that's going to do some damage. Definitely going to be a good counter against the two MG42s that Paul has.
Just got cut off.
And of course putting some heavy fire on the church here, so it's going to force Paul to escape. MG kind of out in the open here, but covered by the Grenadiers. And nicely done, forcing a retreat with the rear echelon. With that indirect fire as well from the mortars. So the mortars are already putting up a good fight here.
We're losing a capture point.
Riflemen who are garrisoned inside of the little hut here force a retreat on the Grenadiers and pushing back the MG42. So both MG42s on the field, not really that effective thus far. Obviously they're good for
Frontline units are being hung out to dry.
cordoning off certain areas, causing certain areas to be impassable by infantry. But obviously he's not able to excuse me, not able to set up at all, and instead getting forced to retreat. So currently Jove on the ladder in terms of his United States Forces play. He's got 449 wins and 60 losses. That's a winning percentage of .882. So he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. That is for sure. He's currently on a 16-game winning streak, which I guess you would assume so with that crazy record that he's got going there. And last time I checked, Paul, in terms of his Wehrmacht play, is not even on the top 10 right now. So he does reside on the top 10 for other races. I keep saying races, I mean factions, but not for the Wehrmacht. So perhaps this isn't what he considers his best matchup. You can see he went for the mobile defense doctrine. So we'll have a look at some Puma play to see how effective that really is. So mortars raining out some fire here. We'll get to see just how effective these mortars are, and we see a Stuart being built now. So Jove clearly with the early game upper hand here.
A capture point is under attack.
Someone get us out here.
Riflemen getting kind of caught here with the Pioneers and the Flame, but forcing retreat on them. These mortars just causing havoc on any sort of positioning that Paul is trying to set up here. However, he is able to force the retreat, and retreating himself.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
As we can see here, Paul's got his medical bunker set up, so that's always good to see. Stuart on the field here is going to be able to do some damage. Hopefully not. Oh, so this is what you like to see, keeping distance away from the Faust. And those mortars, my goodness. 1 and 3 kills there.
A capture point is being overrun.
So something very interesting I noticed in watching Jove is the way he orients his camera. I guess he likes the nice north-south orientation. Not sure if he does this for all of his games, but I believe I've seen it before. So I don't know, best player in the world, really.
A supply line just got cut
Changing around his camera. Pretty cool. As he's got the ambulance set up there. Grenadiers and Pioneers trying to cap the bottom point here. And the Captain getting caught off guard here. Forced to retreat.
Attack them, Grenadiers! Attack them!
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
So Jove actually getting a bye in the first round, in the opening round of this Warpaint Championship Series.
A capture point is being overrun.
And then Paul defeating Fahu 2-0 in the first round. And like I said, this is game 2, so he's already Paul's already down 1 game. As we see Jove getting up a fighting position here. And getting that 50 cal, it looks like, in the fighting position. Stuart raining down some blows on the Grenadiers. And we can see the riflemen with the bars there, so they're going to be extremely effective against the Grenadiers, even against an MG42 if he can get out of the cone of fire. A bit of a stalemate here with the mortars laying down some bombs So not sure what Paul's thinking here. I mean, he's contending with 2 mortars. He did just get a mortar himself, but I don't know if that's going to be enough at all.
The capture point
He
is
really
under
does need
attack.
to deal with these guys as they're completely taking over map control, not allowing him to set up at all. Stewart up here on the top here, going to be able to take care of these grenadiers, maybe force a retreat here.
Infantry.
I'm surprised that he's not trying to maneuver to try and get a Faust
Capture
off,
point is being overrun.
as the Stewart isn't really supported. At least it wasn't when it was up there by any infantry.
Back up full strength.
MG42's out on their own. Very surprised to see this. And Stewart going to be able to make some short work on the MG42. See, Paul's sending in his units piecemeal like this, and that's never good. And great flanking there, taking out the MG42.
Enemy is grenade!
Nice grenade.
Bust out the map. Go
So a
crew
bit of a
just
waste
got
there,
wiped
but
out.
typically that's worth the risk if you can get an MG42. Forcing retreat on the top here. And that's what I like to see. 2 grenadier squads at once. Definitely going to
Forces
outnumber.
now have
Nice smoke
300
there,
points remaining.
but forcing retreat anyway.
Krauts are taking one of our points. Under fire!
So one thing the Stewart's probably the fact that the Stewart is on the field here is probably leaving Paul a little disoriented because he can't really bring an armored car out. I suppose with 2 he might be able to do some damage against the Stewart. So I'm surprised we're not seeing any sort of anti-armor being placed. I don't think he's even got a Faust off yet. Captain and Rifleman with the bar going to be able to contest with his Grenadiers all out on its own.
New units are ready to deploy. Enemy forces are securing our territory.
MG42 a little delayed to the fight, but is going to provide some cover and fire here. Rifle grenade missing, so nice micro there. Grenadiers in the center here, trying to cap the middle point. And some rear echelon here with some minesweepers.
New units are ready to deploy.
Rifleman with bar here. Jove making short work of the map control here. Grenadiers getting out of Lost and the Puma coming out. So he's got double Puma. Just kind of standing in no man's land there, thinking that the smoke's going to cover him. But he may lose this. Wow. It's a nice shot with the Puma, taking out the Stewart once and for all. He's going to need to back out his second Puma there to get some repairs with that damaged engine. It's going quite slowly.
Enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
MG42 again caught off guard here. So Mortar is putting in work here. I'm surprised Paul once again. Very surprised that he hasn't gone and rushed them. They're out on their own. Good grenade there, forcing a disembark out of the building. So he's actually kind of screwed himself with the barbed wire there.
Anti-tank gun, ready
I
for
mean,
action.
ideally he would like to push up here and kind of rush the mortars.
Change it back! Promotions in! Down the inside to
Nice grenade there, but also nice micro getting out of there. A nice flank here, forcing a retreat and actually taking out that one vet squad.
God damn it! Someone get us out of here!
So vet 2, I believe, had better accuracy. Let's see here.
Area secured!
Interesting, interesting.
There's a major
So I guess it's the
reporting for
Wehrmacht whose accuracy gets better. Let's have a look here. Who's left? Yeah, there it is. So rear echelon under heavy fire, forced to retreat. Another MG42 getting taken out here, so I don't know why he keeps building more. I believe he's building more and more because he's lost 2 that I've seen. Puma under heavy fire, forced to retreat. So he had the right idea. I guess he wanted to take out the motors, but the captain squad there thought different. Puma just going straight for the base, taking out, hoping to take out the ambulance here. It's a nice disembark. So getting a bazooka, taking out a Puma.
Enemy is inflicting losses upon us.
Krauts are sniffing around our asses. Tactical
So
point
fairly
being
nice grenade,
captured.
doing some good damage against the Vet 2s there, but forced to retreat.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
Field promotion! We're losing men! We have training.
Grenadiers just kind of standing there taking fire all by themselves. Looks like Paul's attention is... Here it is, it's focused here. Almost losing another Puma. Vet 2 Gren's trying to cap this ammo point, but being contested by the captain.
Has arrived.
Let's see what upgrades they got.
Orders! Get moving! Don't stop!
Survivability and weapon control.
Under fire!
Another MG42 on its own. Gonna be able to set up in time. But again, gonna get taken out most likely by the double mortar here.
Armor down!
As you can see, the first Sherman here on the field. And Paul just has nothing to deal with this. No Faust or anything is gonna be used, it seems, because all his grenadiers are back at base here. And with that HE round, he's not going to be able to get in close to get a Faust.
We're losing a capture point.
Mortar's retreating there.
That gunner thinking! Kill those stupid bastards! We're getting chewed up!
Rear echelon and rifleman trying to outflank here. Nice grenade. Almost getting the squad wipe, forcing retreat on the Vet 1s.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
So nice MG42 in the rear here. But getting outflanked. And forced to retreat too, so he's got that flamethrower as you saw. He picked that up from a Pioneer that he killed earlier.
The capture point is under attack.
Puma coming in here. But completely outmatched, getting a direct hit in the front here. And the Puma's round just bounces right off.
capture point.
Paul getting finally getting some control here, but the mortars once again are going to deny him his comfort level here in the middle.
A capture point is under attack.
Pioneers looking to do some damage here.
God damn it! Engage that concentration!
Just in time is the Sherman.
Rounds complete!
I guess it's got priority over vehicle because it's not doing anything.
That's it, fellas. Knock their fucking block off. The capture point is being overrun. What's that gunner thinking?
Well, it's got a hold fire command on for some reason. There we go.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Vet 2 captains moving in. Trying to respond to this Vet 2 Grenadier capping the bottom point. Let's take a look at the mortars, see how many kills they have now. One with 10 and the other with 13, so I mean, if Paul is unable to deal with these mortars, he will lose the match for sure.
The capture point is under attack.
They're just so good at denying him control and the ability to set up his machine guns.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Jove opting not to go with any commanders at this point, so very interesting. He's seen the Pumas on, so he knows what doctrine Paul has gone, and yet he's decided not to go for anything.
All sectors. Ability now ready.
So Paul's mortar getting in some good hits here. Already got 7 kills. The Vet 3 Grenadiers under some fire here from the Major and forced to retreat because of that MG42, but the Sherman comes up. He needs to retreat these. He does not want to lose his Vet 3. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe trying to get a Faust off. And that's unfortunate. That's the last thing you want to lose. Puma kind of doing a suicide route around the building here. So at this point, Paul seems to be throwing the game. I mean, it doesn't look like he's considering building a Panzer IV. The captain with his Thompson trying to lay down some fire and forced to retreat there. Not going to do a whole lot against MG42. Rear echelon outflanking the MG42.
The enemy is taking our territory.
So nice use of the smoke here, denying the MG42 its vision. He's going to be able to move up with his medics, no less. Vet 2 riflemen with the flamethrower.
We are losing a sector. A mortar team has been killed.
Forcing retreat there. But he's got to watch out. The mortars are landing awfully close. Sherman coming in a little late, but still going to be able to do some damage. Nice hit on the Pioneers. Some riflemen and the Major here capping the the left-hand top portion, the fuel point. And there's the Pershing, my goodness.
Good effect on target.
Paul's just got absolutely nothing to deal with this. Look at the unit preservation here, and that's a GG.
We're losing a capture point.
Let's take a look at these 18 kills with that mortar, 13 kills with that. So it was surprising to me. The two mortar squads are left out in the open for such a lot for the entire game, basically. Paul forcing retreat, I think 2 or 3 times on them, but not able to do any damage that I saw. So those mortars were just able to deny Paul any sort of map control with his MG42s. Paul, noticing this, should have, I guess, stopped building his MG42s and focused on getting out some more mobile troops. You know, getting out his Pumas was the right call, but again, he was completely caught off guard by the Sherman and also the captain and any other unit with a bazooka. So they were rendered completely ineffective. And ultimately, Paul was just, it seemed like he was indecisive, probably making plays that was completely out of character. And with a player as good as Jove, that's expected, but I think Paul could have done quite a bit better. I've seen him play, and I know he could do better than that, but you can't do much. Once Jove got that steward out, it basically left Paul without an easy choice. Noticing that the Puma would have been taken out pretty easily, or an armored car for that matter. So all in all, good game. Mortars basically won in the match, and that unit preservation. Look how many vet squads he has there, and those MGs, man. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.